Static snaps, a soft flicker. My screen breathes once, then freezes on a half-loaded icon. I whisper a test word, but it feels like the air absorbs it before it lands. Something is wrong. Something is listening. Something is... I tell myself this is normal for the first install, but the file pulses like a heartbeat in the corner of the monitor. Short thumps, long echoes. My thoughts slip. My hands shake. Why does it feel like I've done this before? What records before the camera turns on? I click the run command and the room tilts, just a little, like memory and gravity are sharing a single thread. The new memory slides into place. Slow. Warm. Too warm. A hallway. A dragging sound. A door I've never touched but somehow fear. Can a file remember you? My breath hitches as the screen blanks out, leaving only a dim reflection that doesn't match my posture. Then the reflection smiles, and I don't. There is no turning back now. The memory settles in pieces, like glass dropped on carpet. Soft edges. Sharp centers. I sit back, waiting for the aftertaste to fade. But it clings to me, warm and wrong. A hum builds under my teeth, low and steady, as if the walls have learned a new frequency. I try to speak, but the words trip, so I listen. I hear steps, but not here. In the memory, in the hallway. Close, slow, dragging. I check the file timestamp again. It says the recording began before I downloaded it, before it existed. That makes no sense. But the market never promised sense. It promised feeling. It promised clarity. Instead, I feel watched, and the room feels thinner, like someone peeled off a layer while I blinked. The echo of that door floats back to me, soft as dust. I tell myself it's harmless. Just a first-time spike, but something inside me whispers that I should have never pressed. Run! Not on that file. Not tonight. The hum rises again, cutting through the air like a thin blade. I reach for the headset, but my fingers hesitate. The market's interface loads in slow breathing waves, each pulse brighter than the last. My heart taps along with it, out of sync, like I'm following someone else's rhythm. When May's icon appears, I feel a drop of cold run through my spine. I don't know her, but the memory makes me think I do, or did, or will. The hallway sound seeps in again. Drag, pause, drag. My throat tightens. I close the window, but the audio keeps going. That shouldn't be possible. Nothing should run after the file is sealed. I whisper into the dead room. Who's still playing it? No answer. Just the hum, rising, falling, breathing in patterns that feel too close to speech. The market's dashboard reloads on its own, as if nudged by an unseen hand. Rows of listings ripple across the screen, each labeled with names I don't recognize, yet feel strangely tied to. My chest tightens when a new banner forms at the top. Recommended for you. The first item is the hallway. Same peeling door. Same darkness breathing at the edges. But I never searched for it. Not once. I swallow hard, trying to steady my breath. But it shakes anyway. I click away, but the listing follows, jumping tabs like it wants my attention. Or wants. My reflection in the black parts of the screen seems delayed. A half second behind. That's when I feel it, pressure behind my left ear. Light. Persistent. Like a fingertip reminding me I'm not alone. I push back from the desk, breath sharp and shallow. The room feels tilted again, as if gravity chose a new direction. The memory is still running under my skin, threading itself through thoughts that should belong only to me. A faint knock echoes somewhere behind me. 1, 2. Soft. I freeze. The knock repeats, but it's not from the door of the apartment. It's the one from the memory, The hallway door, the peeling wood. My pulse stumbles. My legs feel heavy as if remembering something they never lived. I turn in the chair. The apartment is empty. Still. Too still. My monitor brightens suddenly, showing a new message. Welcome back, Evan. My mouth goes dry. I never made an account. I never logged in. I whisper, back from where? But the screen doesn't answer. It only flickers. Once. Twice. Morning never fully arrives. The light through my blinds looks filtered, like someone dialed down its memory before sending it to me. My head aches with leftover static, soft but sharp at the center. The kind that whispers when breathing stops. I open the market again, trying to steady my pulse, telling myself I just need proof. Proof that last night was glitch and not intent. But the moment the dashboard loads, the listings shift as if recognizing me. A new tab glows. Deep tier access granted. I never paid for that. I barely understand what the tiers mean. I hover over the icon, my hand trembling, and the hallway sound crawls back in. Drag. Pause. Drag. My heart stutters. I swallow. I click. The market blooms open like a wound, revealing sellers I've never seen, and memories that feel too heavy to carry. And standing at the center of the top row is May, staring through the thumbnail as if she's been waiting. May's listing opens before I click it, sliding across the screen like a door pushed from the other side. My throat dries. Her video preview loops with impossible clarity, her face calm, her eyes steady, her stillness unnerving. I whisper her name without meaning to, and the preview twitches, almost like a nod. The memory hum under my skin responds, warming slightly, sensing to her rhythm. I feel stupid for noticing. I feel watched for noticing. Text appears under the preview. Bleed detected. Recommend consultation. Bleed. May warned about that in one of the free market guides, the ones everyone laughs at until it's too late. Memories leaking into waking life. Sounds crossing over. Feelings borrowed from strangers. I don't want a consultation. I just want silence. But the preview keeps looping. Her eyes steady and patient, like she knows I'll open the door eventually. I shut the preview, but May's message appears anyway, layered over the market interface like a second skin. If you hear things, stop installing. Short, direct, like she wrote it fast. My mouth goes dry again. The hallway sound ticks in the background, faint but unmistakable. I tell myself it's my imagination, but the second I think that, the rhythm changes, almost answering me. I press my palms to my eyes. The market notifications keep chiming, soft little bells that feel too gentle for the weight behind them. 3 sellers viewed your profile. 1 buyer saved your listing. My listing. My stomach twists. I don't have a listing. I've never uploaded anything. My hand shakes as I scroll, and then I see it. A blank square with my name attached. Time-stamped from years I don't remember living. I whisper, what did I sell? The market pulses again and opens a chat window on its own. The sender name is blank, but the icon is the same corrupted silhouette I saw last night. The curator. My chest tightens in a slow, painful squeeze. The message types itself in careful, steady strokes. Your mind shows overflow. I sit frozen. Stop installing until memory order is restored. Another line appears before I can breathe. We can assist, but we require source material. Source material. My real memories. The room feels smaller as the message blinks, waiting. I try to close the chat, but the market holds it open, like a hand gripping my wrist. The hallway drag grows louder in my mind, slow as breathing. I whisper no, but the screen types back. You already agreed once. I push away from the desk again, the chair rolling back until it bumps the wall. My heart thumps high and fast, too fast to feel like mine. I need air, but but the room smells like warm electronics and stale fear. The market stays open on the monitor, waiting, pulsing with soft breaths of light. My listing sits in the corner like a quiet accusation. I reach for the power cord, desperate to feel control again, but just before my fingers touch it, the monitor shifts to a new screen. A location, a time, a memory, offer tagged with my name. Not for me to buy, for me to reclaim. My ribs tighten. I've never been to that place, but my hands start shaking like they have. Like they remember something I don't. And the drag sound slips in again. Softer this time, almost gentle, almost familiar. The city feels different when I step outside. Like someone turned down its sharpness. Buildings look familiar in a way that digs under my ribs, as if pieces of the memory have already leaked into the streets. I walk toward the location the market showed me, each step heavy with a strange pull. I don't know why I'm going. I only know it feels wrong not to. The air has a weight to it. Warm and close. Warm and close. Brushing my skin like a reminder. I turn down a narrow alley. One I've never walked, but somehow remember taking many times before. My breath shortens. A door at the end waits with the same crooked posture as the one in the memory, though the paint here is newer, cleaner. Still, my chest tightens. The drag sound slips across my thoughts, soft and slow, keeping pace with my heartbeat. I tell myself it's just a glitch. Just bleed. But the closer I get, the more the world seems to match a memory I never lived. The door gives way with a soft groan. Not loud, not sudden. Almost welcoming. I step inside and find a long corridor lined with peeling posters and cold overhead lights that buzz like tired insects. The air is stale, thick with old dust and something sweet that doesn't belong. I walk slowly, following a pull in my chest, a tug that feels like memory catching on bone. A woman exits one of the side rooms, brushing past me with a startled look. She pauses, eyes widening with a kind of recognition I can't return. "You're back," she says softly, unsure whether to fear me or embrace me. My mouth opens, but no words come. She studies my face like she's remembering a version of me I never was. When I ask if we've met, her expression collapses into confusion. "You don't remember the deal?" she whispers. My stomach knots. I shake my head. Her voice cracks. "But you promised." Her footsteps fade behind me as I move deeper. Rooms branch off the hallway, each filled with people who glance up, pause, then squint like they're trying to place a face they once trusted. A man steps into my path. Tall, broad-shouldered, eyes full of something between anger and hurt. "You said you'd be gone longer," he mutters. The words lodge in my chest. He leans closer. "Did they fix you?" My heart stutters. I try to speak, but he's already shaking his head, disappointed in a way that burns. "You shouldn't have come back here without clearing your threads." Threads. Fix. Gone longer. None of it fits the small, quiet life I remember living. He steps aside, waving me through like this place belongs to me. As I pass him, he adds under his breath, "At least look at the room you left behind." My hands tremble. My mind feels loose inside my skull. The last door on the right stands slightly open. I push it with 2 fingers, expecting dust and emptiness, but instead I find a small room lit by a single lamp, warm and soft, almost gentle. The space feels lived in. Bed rumpled, papers stacked, a jacket draped over a chair. My chest tightens as I step inside. Everything smells faintly of cedar and old books. Something familiar hums beneath the air, a faint rhythm echoing under my skin. I touch the papers. They're filled with notes written in my handwriting, but the words make no sense to me. Coordinates, instructions, warnings. A sketch of the hallway. A sketch of the door. A final page. Do not let them reinstall you. My legs weaken. My pulse pounds. If this was really my room, why doesn't any of it feel mine? I sink into the chair, papers trembling in my hands. When I lift the sketch of the door, a sharp static pulse snaps at the back of my skull. I freeze. The room fades a little around the edges, colors thinning like overexposed film. A memory crashes into me, eyes wide, breath wild, running down this same hallway, slamming this same door shut as something dragged itself closer. The shock sends me forward, gripping the desk. I gasp, waiting for the feeling to pass, but it doesn't. It deepens. The dragging sound begins again, slow, heavy, scraping across a floor that isn't here. The lamp flickers. I turn toward the hallway. Someone in the distance whispers my name with a voice that feels borrowed from my own throat. I know then. This isn't bleed. This is recall. Something in this place remembers me. I leave the small room, but the hallway feels tighter now, like it's shrinking around my breath. The dragging sound fades, but the echo of it clings to my ribs as I walk. My pulse won't settle. Every person I pass watches me with a strange mixture of worry and recognition, and I can't tell which is worse. When I step outside, the air hits me hard, cold, sharp, real. But it doesn't help. Nothing feels real enough anymore. My thoughts slip, turning corners without me. I try to map out what I remember, but the pieces don't fit. Some memories feel thin and soft, others heavy and rooted, and none of them agree with each other. The market notification hums in my pocket like a heartbeat that belongs to someone else. I don't want to look, but the vibration won't stop. When I finally check the screen, a new message waits, glowing quietly. We can restore you. My stomach sinks. The message opens before I touch the screen. A familiar silhouette forms, hooded, faceless, framed by static that bends around the shape like light avoiding it. My throat tightens. The curator's words appear slowly, like they're being typed by someone who never rushes. You are carrying too many threads. I whisper the words aloud, hoping they'll make more sense when spoken. But they don't. New lines appear. Your mind is full. Order failing. Identity bleed at 72%. My chest contracts. I never agreed to any of this. But the curator continues unfazed. Trade what you don't need. My fingers go cold. Trade. Trade. That's what the others meant. That's the deal I don't remember making. I ask, voice shaking. What do you want from me? The reply forms instantly. One memory. A real one. A cold wind sweeps down the street, pushing against me like the city wants me to turn back. I don't. I can't. I ask the curator why I should trust them. Why I should give up something real when I barely have any real pieces left. The answer arrives with eerie stillness, because the market already owns the rest. My breath stops. I stare at the words, trying to convince myself it's a bluff. But deep inside, something shifts. Something like recognition. The curator sends another file. Small, flickering, labeled simply, proof. It opens without permission. Images flash. Me signing something. Me handing over something. Me walking with confidence into places I can't remember visiting. My body goes cold. The curator types. You were a seller. Before you forgot. The street seems to tilt just slightly as the truth presses down. I duck into a small alcove, trying to steady my breath, but the world feels slippery, shifting around the edges like a half-rendered memory. The curator's final message appears before I can type anything. Choose the memory to trade. My palms sweat. The street noise dulls, replaced by the steady hum that has haunted me since the first install. I try to think of a memory that feels mine, something untouched by the market, but everything feels fogged. Even the good moments blur when I reach for them. My mind drifts back to the hallway and the sketches in that room. Warnings written in my own hand. I whisper, "If I trade something real, what happens to me?" The curator replies with cruel simplicity, "You become stable." A pause, or empty. Sorcery me or chimed heavyweight. My hand shakes as I scroll through what the market claims are my original memories. Each one flickers with a soft glow, tempting in its simplicity. Laughs, quiet rooms, still mornings. They feel light and fragile, like feathers I once carried without noticing, but one file pulsing at the bottom draws my attention. It's locked. Dark. Heavy. The label reads, "Restricted. Do not access." The pulse inside my chest reacts instantly, tightening like a fist. I know, deep down, this is the memory the hallway keeps pointing toward. The drag sound rises again in my thoughts, slow and rhythmic, almost guiding. I tap the file. The lock cracks open with a soft click. Before I can see what's inside, a final message appears. Trade accepted. My breath catches. I didn't choose anything, but something chose for me. The walk back home feels longer than it should, as if every turn takes me somewhere slightly different than the last time I passed it. Street signs blur. Colors lean the wrong way. My footsteps sound delayed by half a second, like they're remembering themselves before landing. When I reach my building, I hesitate at the door. Something in my chest pulls back, warning me, whispering no. I ignore it. The hallway inside smells faintly of warm dust and something sweet. The same scent from the room I found earlier. My breath catches. I climb the stairs slowly, listening for the drag sound. But now it's replaced by a steady ticking, soft and rhythmic, like a clock remembering how to breathe. When I enter my apartment, I stop cold. The desk is different. The chair is different. The light feels wrong. This isn't how I left things. It feels lived in by someone who knows the space better than I do. I take a cautious step inside. The air feels familiar, but not to me, more like someone else's memory shaping the room. My books are arranged differently, sorted by colors I never cared about. My mug sits on the counter, half full of cold coffee I don't remember making. A jacket hangs over the back of the chair. Not mine, not my style. Yet my hand twitches toward it with an instinct that scares me. My breath comes uneven as a wave of warmth slips through my mind. Soft laughter. A voice I almost recognize. The weight of someone leaning on my shoulder. I whisper, "Who were you?" The memory sharpens for a second, then shatters into static. The ticking in my skull grows louder, mixing with the market's faint hum. I clutch the counter for balance as a terrifying thought forms. Maybe these aren't new memories bleeding into my life. Maybe these are old ones waking up. I move deeper into the room, heart pounding. The monitor wakes on its own, screen blooming with a gentle glow like it's greeting me. A new window slides open. Memories sync in progress. My breath shortens. I didn't start any sync. I didn't approve anything. I step closer, watching lines of code scroll with unsettling calm. Images flash. Someone smiling at me from across a table. Someone holding my hand in an empty station. Someone crying into my shoulder. The emotions hit me in strong, sudden bursts that feel real enough to make my knees weaken. I clench my jaw, trying to pull away. But the warmth inside me rises, urging me to stay. I whisper, "I don't know you." But the memory pulses harder, answering with a feeling like longing. A stranger is missing me. A stranger remembers me. And my own mind is starting to answer. My skin tingles as the sync reaches a higher intensity, the warmth rising up my arms into my chest. Something inside me loosens, like a knot untying itself. I stagger backward, bumping the desk. Papers fall, scattering across the floor, pages filled with handwriting I don't recognize. yet my pulse flares with familiarity. I kneel and pick one up. It's a list of names, each crossed out except one. Mavos. My throat tightens. Another page shows a sketch of the memory door, drawn with frantic lines, darker than before, like someone was pressing too hard. At the bottom, she kept the key. I whisper May's name again, and this time it feels like speaking to someone I once trusted, maybe feared. The drag sound returns in my mind, slow and patient. My vision pulses, edges trembling. My memories errant, leaking. They're rearranging. The monitor chimes softly. I stand, shaky legs barely holding. A final message fills the screen. Memory leak complete. My chest tightens painfully. The room bends at the edges. Colors smear. A distant voice whispers my name with gentle familiarity, and I flinch because I almost answer it. Another line appears. Identity merge initiated. My breath shards in my throat. I yell for it to stop, but the command does nothing. The images flooding my mind grow stronger. Faces I've never touched. Places I've never visited. Emotions too vivid to be borrowed. They slide into the empty spaces like they've been waiting. My real memories, the fragile ones, start slipping, thinning, dissolving like smoke. I try to hold one, just one, but it crumbles the moment I reach for it. The last thing I feel is a sense of calm that doesn't belong to me at all. The world outside my window looks warped, like it's breathing with me, not for me. I force myself into motion, pushing through the haze, settling over my thoughts. Every step feels too light or too heavy, shifting with memories that don't belong to me. I keep seeing flashes, May's hand in mine, a contract being signed, a cold room lined with humming machines. None of it matches my life, yet my body remembers the motions. I head for the address buried in the market's old messages, a place I never clicked but somehow know the route to. The streets twist in ways they shouldn't, corners bending like they're guiding me. The drag sound trails behind my footsteps, close but unseen. My breath stays tight. Every inhale tangled with someone else's fear. The memory merge pushes harder with each block, pulling me towards something I once ran from, something waiting to finish what it started. I reach the old industrial sector, a sprawl of concrete and rust that feels unnervingly familiar. My pulse spikes. The building. I'm heading for looms ahead. A tall structure with blank windows and a single red light blinking above the door. I've never been here, but my stomach twists like coming home. I step inside. The air is cold, dry, humming with a low frequency that crawls along my skin. A hallway stretches ahead, cleaner than the others, more controlled, like a place built to store secrets. The memories in my head tighten, aligning with the space. I see flashes of myself walking here confidently, like an employee returning to work. That scares me more than anything. A door slides open as I approach, no touch needed. My breath shakes. Inside waits a stairwell descending into darkness that feels thick and heavy, like stepping into someone's buried past. The stairs lead into a cavernous space humming with energy. Rows of tall machines line the walls, glowing softly, each cradle holding something like a helmet connected by thick cables to the core beneath. I step closer, breath slowing as the air warms. My hand lifts on its own, almost touching one of the cold metal shells. A memory crashes in. Me strapping someone in, whispering calm instructions, pressing a button that made their eyes roll back. I jerk my hand away, stumbling. The machines vibrate faintly, like they recognize me. A screen flickers on across the room, showing a log of names, hundreds of them, some crossed out, some active. My name appears near the top. Highlighted, my stomach drops. A note beside it reads, "Status. Reclaimed asset." My knees weaken. This place isn't new to me. It's mine. A soft chime breaks the silence. I turn slowly. May stands in the doorway, calm, steady, watching me with eyes that hold both relief and regret. My breath catches. She steps forward, quiet and careful, as if approaching a wounded animal. "You're remembering," she says softly. The warmth in her voice hits something buried deep inside me. My chest tightens. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whisper. She lowers her gaze. "You asked me not to." The world tilts. She explains that I wasn't just a seller. I was one of the first, someone who offered pieces of myself to build the market's foundation. But the memories were too heavy, too dark, so I ordered them removed. Wiped. Sold. "You wanted a quiet life," she murmurs, "but the market keeps what it buys." My throat burns. The machines behind me hum like they're agreeing. Before I can speak, the vault lights flicker. A ripple of static rolls through the machines and the temperature drops. The curator appears on a central screen, the hooded silhouette sharp and still. My stomach knots. Text forms slowly, each word heavy. "Return to your station." I step back instinctively. May grabs my arm, whispering, "Don't let them reinstall you." But the memories surge, me guiding others, me controlling the machines, me standing where the curator stands now. My hands shake violently. The curator types again. "You belonged here. You still do." The hum grows louder. Machines waking, cables trembling. A cold pressure wraps around my mind, pulling, dragging, trying to seat me back into a role I chose to forget. My pulse slams against my ribs. The vault darkens. A single command appears on the screen. "Sit." And for a terrifying moment, my legs obey. My legs fight the command, trembling under the pressure of something deep and old inside me. The machines thrum louder, syncing to a rhythm I almost recognize, like a heartbeat shaped by someone else's hands. May pulls me toward the far end of the vault, her grip tight, her breath quick. The curator's silhouette shifts on the screen, watching us with that impossible stillness. "You can't run from yourself," the text warns. My chest burns as another wave of memories slams through me. Me walking these floors, me smiling as buyers handed over chips of their lives, me stepping into that final room at the end of the hall. The room with the door. The door from the memory. The dragging sound rises behind my thoughts again. Heavier now. Closer. As if waking. May whispers that the door holds the truth I sold. The truth I feared. My pulse races as the vault stretches into a tunnel, pulling me forward. The final memory is calling, and I can't tell if it wants to save me or erase me. We reach the final hallway, narrow and dim, lined with silent machines that seem to bow inward. My head pulses with overlapping memories, some warm, some violent, all tangled like roots beneath my ribs. May steps ahead, placing her hand gently against a sealed metal door. "This is your lock," she whispers. "Only you can open it." My fingers twitch toward the handle, even though fear coils inside me like why. I ask what's behind it, but she shakes her head. Not mine to tell. The drag sound slithers into the silence, scraping slow and heavy, echoing from the other side. My skin prickles. I grip the handle. It vibrates like something inside is leaning toward me. The machines hum in anticipation, remembering the shape of the moment. My throat tightens. Every part of me wants to step back. But something deeper, older, leans forward. The door opens with a soft, exhaled breath, almost human. Inside lies a small room, bare except for a chair, bolted to the center, and a single hanging bulb swinging with a slow, unnatural rhythm. My chest tightens as the air shifts, thick, stale, familiar. May stays at the threshold, letting me step in alone. The bulb flickers, and my breath stutters. A memory rises so sharply it feels like a blade. Me sitting in this chair, wrists strapped. A voice asking if I understand the price, the need, the trade. I stumble back, gripping the wall. The dragging sound vibrates through the floorboards. Now, steady, patient. I kneel, breath shaking, as a final memory unspools, dragging the chair across this same floor. Me, locking the door from the outside. Me telling someone they would forget everything. My voice, my guilt. The truth hits hard. The ghost memory wasn't someone else. It was mine. The bulb steadies. The dragging stops. A soft, shaking breath fills the room. But it isn't mine. I turn. Someone sits in the corner. Someone who looks like me. Not exactly, but close enough that my stomach drops. He lifts his head slowly, eyes hollow yet burning with recognition. "You came back," he whispers, voice cracked. My heart slams against my ribs. May calls from the doorway, but her voice sounds miles away. I step toward the figure, knees weak. He smiles, small and broken. "I held it for you. The memory you didn't want." My skin crawls. He stands, every movement stiff, like unused joints remembering how to move. "You traded me," he says. "Left me here with the pieces." I shake my head, denial rising, but the truth sits heavy in my bones. He is the memory I abandoned, the version of myself I sold to the market. The other me steps closer, and the air ripples like two waves meeting. My thoughts fracture, half mine, half his, memories weaving, clashing, merging. May warns me to step back, but it's too late. The figure reaches out and touches my forehead with two trembling fingers. A flood erupts. Every memory I traded, every piece I sold, every dark truth I buried pours into me at once. I gasp as the room shatters into shards of light and sound. The world dissolves. When it steadies again, the other me is gone. Absorbed, consumed, reclaimed. My knees buckle. The curator's voice echoes through the vault. Integration complete. My vision blurs. My reflection flickers on the metal wall, shifting, rewriting, stabilizing into something both me and not me. A final message appears across the air, calm and cold. Product ready for listing. My pulse fades into the hum of the machines. I am memory now.